How dare I date, Abby?
How dare you date?
Who am I?
How dare you want a man again? The one you have is not enough.
It's not. Even if he's 6 feet under.
And you have children.
How dare.
Children in the house.
Hello, my name is Funmi and she is
Affi.
And we are here to talk about dating, the intricacies of dating.
As a widow.
As a widow, getting back into the market.
Excuse me, which market are you getting back into? You won't stay inside the
Singlehood market now.
Yeah, single.
No.
Wow. You're not single, you're a widow.
How dare I date, Abby?
How dare you date?
Who am I?
How dare you want a man again? The one you have is not enough.
It's not. Even if he's 6 feet under.
And you have children.
How dare.
Children in the house.
Aye.
What are you looking for again? Is it scratching you?
No scratching.
You know what I mean?
Oh God.
People say all sorts. We get to hear that. All sorts.
We
Seriously.
do. And then don't let us downplay the fact that there are also people that encourage widows to
Oh yes, of course.
to not be alone. So friends, family, people that know why it is very hard to do life by yourself. And so those ones would say, if it's something you want, please go right ahead. You don't need anybody's approval. But
Even
majority.
Even if I wasn't a widow, I would tell a widow the same thing. You know what? Rather than going out to sin, date and get married if you have to. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm archaic. I'm old like that. Or old school like that. But
Also a Christian.
personally, yes, I'd rather be in marriage before sex. So yeah, and that's what I'm practicing. So
And even myself, I would rather date, be in a relationship, and it leads into marriage, and then we can explore all the things that we've not been able to enjoy for. Don't let me put it. Don't let me put the time frame. But anyway, that's what we aim to convey to the world, our own beliefs. Anyway, but
we're not trying to convince anybody. So we're just sharing experiences. I think it's more of experiences and what we've seen, realities, than even beliefs, and what's happened to us, because these are things we see. A lot of people believe that as a widow, you can't date anymore. You shouldn't date.
You're off the market.
You should stay with your children. You have children. They are good companions, enough companions for you. So don't go anywhere. Don't stay in your house. Keep yourself together.
Work, then come back home to sleep.
You're
And
not
then
a
if you're
human again.
socialize with your friends. And then what about those friends that
Your
have
girlfriends.
the girlfriends that are not available?
Well,
Not all of them are
socialize
available.
with them,
We socialize with them. We try to fit into their own calendar.
exactly. And I mean, actually, it's not reality. We're not facing reality.
No, we're not.
We have to be real with ourselves. Widowers are human beings. Yes, they were married once, or we were married once. But you see, whether you like it or not, life goes on. Life goes on. And it's not everybody that's meant to stay alone. Like after you've married, that's it. I'm not, as you put it earlier, when we're having a conversation, we're not trying to dismiss those who say, oh, I've had the Mr. Man or my Mr. Right, and that is it. He's put a cap on it, and I don't think I can move with anyone else. So it's so fine. We respect that. It's Affi's trying to date.
And then we are going to. So my own question for you, Affi, is this: at what point did you realize that you do not mind dating?
It took a long while. I mean, even till now, sometimes I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? You want to date again? So seriously, I can't tell you that 100% I'm sure I want to date again. No, I can't tell you that because I'll be lying to myself. I have this cold feet sometimes, and then sometimes I'm like, God, I need to do this. I mean, the loneliness is there, especially for someone like me. I had a really good marriage, up to till the end. I had a really good marriage. I'm not saying we didn't have our problems or something, but I had a beautiful marriage. I used to say, people say they endure marriages. Me, I enjoyed my marriage. Like I enjoyed it so much. Me and my husband used to be like brother and sister. So
This
as in
partner.
you want to say, hey, just partner, gossip, like as in sometimes I read through our messages, to each other because I still have them. And I'm like, oh God, man.
The flow.
It'd be nice to have, and you'll be laughing. Something you'll be laughing at some things. You'll tell you like, hey, yeah, at some things, and then you want to shed small tear and then you dust yourself up again and move on. The bottom line is that I'm human. And I have checked myself and realized that, look, yes, I'm a widow. Even though I hate saying that, I don't like saying it. I lost my husband, but you see, I know I would want to find someone like that again. I would want to love again. Now, let me share an experience with you. I remember when he died, a few months after my husband died, I was shattered. I told you, we had a really good marriage, and then I told myself, I said, I'd never find someone
Like him.
like him. I'd never know love like that again. I'm like, no, that's it.
You wanted to
and
put a cap on it.
I probably did. And then the Holy Spirit told me something which I wrote down and said, he calls me Affi when he speaks with me. He's like, Affi, stop it. I am love. Not your definition. I am love, and I'm the one that gives love, and I can give you more love than you've ever had or imagined.
Come on.
When he told me that, I mean, there are things that you hear and you know that, no, this one are God. You don't need anybody, because he did not tell you, stop thinking that way. Or that, oh, yes, you will find someone. Or no, you won't find someone. He's telling you that, look, I am capable to give you more than you've experienced. Because that love, you're thinking you'll never have anything. I am the love.
Oh, my God.
That's
profound. Was that the point when you were like, maybe I shouldn't close my mind?
No, that wasn't the point at all.
Okay.
That was the point of me just experiencing God and his love. But I didn't even think of the funny thing.
Which at that time was enough for you?
Yeah, it was enough. Just knowing God's love, knowing that God was there with me and for me was just enough. And the funniest thing is that it's how many years now? He passed in 2020, right? 2020. This is my God, this is the 50th year. Oh my God.
How time passes.
Oh my God. I thought this was the third year. Like I kept thinking like it's a third. No, seriously. My God, this is the 5th year. Like it's not 5 years yet.
Is that a widow block happening with you right now? Because how could you remove 2 years?
You mean I've stayed almost 5 years?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You have.
It's time to date.
It's time to date. Okay, so it depends on the length of time you've been a widow for you to say, oh, I'm ready to date.
No, actually. So I've had people even talk to me. Had people tell me, Affi, you're such a person that's full of love and you deserve to be loved.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it's not just one. In fact, I remember the doctor that took care of that.
Your husband.
Told me after my husband passed and everything, he said, you did everything. That if it was possible for you to give him your life, for him to stay, you would have.
That's
if
a testimonial to
anything. And he's a Muslim.
Wow.
And he said, I want to advise you like I would advise my sister, because my sister, something like this happened. And I'm telling you the same thing, that look, you need to do quick and get married again. Don't shut it out, because you need to be loved. That was the first time someone was telling me that. And in my head, after I told him, because it was just barely a few months
after
he died, or weeks, less than 2 months, I think. I was like, why is this man telling me this? Please, please, please. You don't want to hear such things that time. You don't at all.
You just shut your ears.
Exactly.
You don't want to process that.
But over the years, I've had people tell me that. And I've had people talk to me about, Affi, you need to move on. You haven't moved on. Even when I thought I had moved on. So I post certain pictures of me and him, or do certain write-ups, that had to do with him. But I do it from a place of, oh, I have healed.
I've come this way. I've come this
far. Exactly, but then what people perceive from the messages is different, because I see people saying it as well. People saying God will heal you, and I'm like, I'm healed. I'm just giving a perspective on this issue or on this, But then I realize that no, it looks like I have healed, but if I keep writing down, if this is what people are perceiving, then I haven't completely healed.
You mean their perception is
Yeah, so the thing is,
impacting on your healing or what?
well, no, not that their perception is impacting my healing, but that I feel have healed, but the way in which I am expressing myself,
Right.
matters a lot, because if not one person, not two persons, not five persons, not 10 persons, not 15 persons are making a comment on something you've said or calling you to say something, based on what you've written, and it's not just one writing or one write-up, and this is the message they're getting from what you've written, then that means that
The way
you
you're
are still,
communicating it.
my communication, and in my heart there is still that hurt, that total healing hasn't completely gone or come. I mean,
Yeah, I get you.
So I needed to actually pray for healing, so that I'll be able to express myself in a way that is not seeking for people's pity. Or people saying it is well, and all that, but rather where people would see and celebrate the love I'd had, and see that this girl is stronger and has what's that word when we use for Nigerians that we've gone through a lot but we're still standing.
It's not coming.
No, it's not. But you know what I'm talking about. Like, you've gone through these, but you're standing strong and tall. Some people get it, but most people were not getting it. So I needed to learn that. But I needed to retreat and actually reassess myself that, okay, Affi, have you truly healed, so that you can move on to the next step? Because that's the truth. If I've not healed, then it's going to be hard to date someone and have a good relationship, because I would keep being impacted by my past, by the memories of what I've had. And it would spoil.
You still
whatever
keep
it is.
comparing
Exactly.
the before and the forward, and that would impact on what you're trying to cook, so to speak. I get you.
Let's talk about dating now. Dating of today is not like the dating of before. So I want you to talk about, how did you get to start dating your husband, of course, first, and
Okay.
then comparing it to maybe one or two dates you've had.
Here.
Because my babe's been dating, and I'm like, oh my
I've been
God.
dating.
Me?
I've been dating back to back to back.
I'm slacking. I tried just two.
You're
Yes,
tired.
I must confess. I tried
Actually, it's
two.
tiring. It's
One I
exhausting.
never saw at all, but we're talking, and then we stopped.
The
and
flow
then
was
the
not there.
other one,
Yeah.
let's just, the other one.
We'll talk about that later. We don't want to talk about that one now. So, I think dating, so if my husband were to be alive, it would have been, what? 12 years since we married. So I'm talking about, let's say 15 years ago. And before then, dating then wasn't like online, though you could meet people online, like on social media. But dating mostly was more physical. You meet someone, maybe you're walking down the road.
Hey, fine girl.
I met him in the course of work. I was
Fine
supposed
girl. Stop now.
we don't.
Can I give you a ride?
I get that too here, but it's not as where.
I don't get it. Here,
I
in
get
UK,
that. I
they are
get
very,
that here,
very
but
careful.
it's not a lot.
They are very
I've had
careful.
a couple of men stop and ask for my number.
Oyibo.
Yeah, one is an Indian, one is a white man.
That's good, dude. Maybe I don't walk. You need to show me the road you walk
And the
on.
Nigerian I talked about.
Just kidding.
The Nigerian I talked to you about.
Yeah.
So there are like 3 of them like that. But anyway, in Nigeria, you usually meet people in the course of work or party or something. So I was going to take a picture, work related, for my ID. I just started working in this law firm and I needed to take a picture. So I went to this photography company, and then my husband was the manager there. And that was how we met. And I didn't even like him. Like, I didn't feel attracted to him. But the young man was persistent. And then God, And then anyway, eventually we married. And you know what happened? That's why we are here. Because I'm a widow. But coming here, I would say that the experience is different because it's very difficult to meet people in the course of work. Like, in school, you could easily meet people, but because I'm older than most of my classmates, so they tend to think I'm young. And so the guys that come are quite young.
Yeah, I have
We
the
can't
same
relate
age
on a
too.
lot of levels because what they want is different from what I want. And at that time, I wasn't even really looking into a relationship. I think what made me venture into dating, I started it as a trial first Because there was a day I came onto Twitter and this lady was talking about, oh, you can't meet anyone in the UK. You have to. I've been in the UK for, let's say, 5 years. So she says when she walks from, where she lives down to the bus stop or something, she never meets anyone to say hello. Can I have your number? And then people were talking under the comments. That was when I got the idea. People were saying, have you tried dating sites?
Exactly.
Online dating. I was like, really? So this was me in 2022, and this was late 2022. It was kind of like an experiment. Like, let me see what they are talking about. I wasn't really ready. So I made a profile, and I think I went on Badoo and another one, maybe Hinge. But I wasn't, yeah. So I did a couple of samplings. I didn't really meet people. But I saw guys that were interested, and I was like, oh, this one is nice. Oh, dope. But most of the time, it's either you see them, they are too old, or you find men. For instance, on Badoo, the men I was talking to, they were men that we couldn't converse easily.
Exactly.
The English was off-putting.
Yeah, and a lot of them, I don't know why it's like that on Badoo. A lot of them are not, like, they're not education-wise,
Yeah, I think most of them
up there.
they are self-employed. They run their own businesses. So, and many of them come from countries that are not English speaking.
I mean, I don't have a problem with not being school educated. It doesn't mean that they're not educated.
They might even be school educated, funny
Yeah.
enough. But English can be a tough language for many people, especially if it's not your first language, like it is in Nigeria.
True.
So, relating, and then you find the person saying stuff that you're trying to understand. So that you're like, oh, I don't get this person, I don't understand. So it affects the flow of the conversation. Anyway, so that was the first time. And then after that, I just logged off most of them because I got what I wanted. And at that time, I could have a man, or maybe I could say I express interest in a particular profile, and the person says, sorry, you're not my type. And so I got the sense that my color was also a problem. And don't forget, most of the time, as in the reality of it is, you're not in Nigeria. You are in the Western world, where most of the men that you will meet are not even black. So that could also affect what you want or what you want to receive. So there would at that point you will need a bit of adjusting what you want. For instance, if you're coming into dating thinking I want only Nigerian men, you might not find, or you might find the ones that are not truthful, or you might not really find. And so you need to expand your expectations. And in the expanding of the expectations, you also might meet with a bit of colorism or racism. Oh, you're too dark. Oh, you're not even fine enough. Your profile picture does not match the picture you're sending me. Sometimes men are very physical in they want to see the things. They want the evidence of who they are talking about.
So all of this, what impact did it have on you as a widow? Because the thing is, whether we like it or not, being a widow, there's just something about it that's different because you've experienced it, you've had it, and it's different from just being a girl who's never married before and you're on a dating site, something. So what was it like on you mentally and any other way?
It was stressful. It was stressful. The first time it wasn't as such because I was actually using it to gather experience, like let me see what's out there. But the second time I went in, which was like, I remember late 2023, when it was my landlord that put the idea in my head. Have you tried dating? He was saying, have you met anyone in your boys' class? I said, no. Everyone just minds their business. Nobody talks to you. I was like, have you tried online? I said, okay. So I went to work. And then I got to download a couple of apps, and then I started chatting with people. But the experience for me was, I found most of the time you chat and it doesn't lead anywhere. Or maybe it was me. Also, most of these men, like I said, they are very physical. They are very sexual, or what they expect is very sexual. I could be chatting with someone thinking I'm having an intellectual discourse, and then the person is talking about some part of his body, like he just woke up. I'm like, what? So there was a guy that said he's in Edinburgh. And then, I was like, I can see that you're tall. We're having a conversation about height, and I was just joking. And then the next thing, he just said something about, I woke up and a part of me is actually tall or standing. And I knew that there and then he wasn't talking about, yes. So you get that a lot because you're not coming. They know you're not coming there as a novice. You already have experience with marriage, and so nothing anyone should tell you should shock you. But it still shocks because you've had a long time not even being in the market at all. You had your husband to shield you from all of that, and then you're coming back and
Seriously.
you get more what's it called, frogs or toads than you get the real thing.
It was a shock for me though. When I came to the UK, and I mean, of course, people always say, "Look, you have to date, you have to try someone. You can't just be alone. You can't, you're too lovely, you're too young. You need to, And I was like, okay, let me try this. So I tried this elite, site. Yeah, you had to pay for it. So I was like, because I was like, okay, I want a certain standard, so I did pay. I'm sorry to say
That was
that
the
my
setting
money
of the
went.
standard.
Oh, it was. It was standard setting. Everybody was too tush for themselves,
To
I mean, I
express
spoke with a
themselves.
few people. And the conversations were going on there, but they were going nowhere. You forget what I mean. So at the end of the day, I was like, what? I'm just not, going to do this. The one person that we kept talking and I don't know, as you said, they always want to like talk about sex at some point. And when you say, I'm sorry,
You want
sex
to
is
steer
not
them
it
back?
for me for now, like I'm not going to be having sex, for now. And they're like, oh, in fact, I have this one telling me that, look, you shouldn't be here. You should go for the Christian dating. There are Christian sites that you should go on. I'm like, I don't understand. Why should I be on a Christian site? So you mean the regular people, I mean, Christians cannot be on any other site. It has to be a Christian dating site. And people already told me that even on a Christian dating site, you find out that they're not actually Christians. So I was like, no, it's about the person and not the site. And I was like, he kept emphasizing that. And then anyway, it didn't go anywhere.
I've met a Muslim on a
you know.
Christian site. How about that?
Okay.
How
See
about
what I
that?
mean?
So
Basically, it was really a shock for me the first time when I got here and I realized that, look, it was difficult. No, not that it was difficult, but that the in thing in dating here is to go online. I mean, after not being in the game for so long, and then you're now thrown back into the game, and you're like, oh my God, where do I
you need to
start
set
from?
up a profile.
What do I do? Yeah, how do I do it? Okay, how do you pose in a picture? And how do you even expose your picture to people? Like, oh my God, I can't believe. What if people see me there? Oh my God, I'm so
Sometimes
ashamed.
some of these apps you need to do like a voice recording of some stuff. Like they ask you questions, you respond.
Oh.
Excuse me, because the other person needs to hear how your voice sounds, whether it's sexy.
Oh wow!
Whether it's
I told
appealing.
you've reached PhD level in.
I
that
told you I was
thing.
doing research.
I haven't even gone that.
I
stage.
was doing research.
And honestly, after that one elite, and then somebody said, "Oh, try Badu." I mean, I have a friend who actually got a husband from Badu.
Yeah.
I was in their wedding, and I was like, "Oh wow," So I was like, "Okay, let me
Imagine.
try."
And that's the battle you were saying. Yeah, not.
Yeah, that's the thing. I did get someone, or I did meet someone, who sounded nice, looked nice, acted nice. We met for a couple of days, more than a couple of days.
Okay, confession time. Okay.
You
Yeah.
know? But at the end of the day, it didn't go anywhere. Oh, nice guy, nice guy. But the thing is, doing this has made me understand that I know what I want. And it's not just about it's not just about going on a dating site. I mean, I understand that this is what's happening in this age now, my time, and I mean that with all sense of not looking old or being old or anything, but my time, which was when my husband asked me out and everything. I mean, he actually wrote a letter to me, but he knew we were friends for a long time.
You meant
and
the
he
era
wrote,
in which you met your husband.
yes, So
Letter
we're
writing
meeting
era.
and everything.
Oh my God.
And then now you're telling me, oh, the world's moved on. It's got to be on site. I mean, Christians are meeting online and getting married, and stuff. And people, not just Christians. And I was like, okay, Christians are doing it, then I guess this is what I have to do. But then I needed to brace myself to really do that. I mean, I still find it hard because after that second experience, I haven't been online again. I've deleted all my stuff, and I don't know how to jump back in. So it's just a shock for me to know that. And then, of course, having to say that, telling you that I know what I want, and so I'm like, would I really get this on a dating site? Okay, if not, where else would I get? Somebody would say a church. Trust me, we go to church. But you see, in the UK here, you have more elderly people in church
Than the young
than the
ones.
young
Yeah,
ones.
absolutely.
I want to say elderly. I'm not talking about like elderly, your elders in church. They're
Or
the
you
ones that are
have
in church.
or you have couples who
Couples,
are
yeah.
and
They are married already
yeah.
in church,
So
that they make up like 95% of the church.
I remember the first church was attending. The PDA was top notch. You would just not help but feel alone. Like husband and wife, they are leaning on one another in church, holding each other's hands, helping each other to smile. I'm like, Jesus Christ. There's no better place to be reminded that you're a widow than inside the church of God in the UK. You know, in Nigeria, couples don't do all that showy.
No.
But here,
In fact, we have some churches where the men sit one side, the women sit on the other
which kind of
rows,
churches now?
There's some churches like that.
Hey, when they are
in
not,
Nigeria,
it's not a must.
that was way back, but now, it's people
In
are
the
mixing
UK,
up
you
more.
just see people do public display of affection, which is
Yeah.
really nice.
Holding
I mean,
hands,
I love it.
putting hands on their laps.
I
I mean, in all cleanliness, they are, even when they're just dating, but it's their way of doing things. Even on the streets, you see them holding hands and walking on the streets.
Older men. It's
Yeah.
very sweet, but it's a shocking reminder of the fact that you can't hold anyone but yourself.
You are alone.
I'm not there with you. So dating has been, it's launching yourself into it. If you don't prepare and brace yourself, like you said, you're going to be setting yourself up for high expectations and not having any one of them met.
Or being ghosted.
Or
like
being
a
ghosted.
lot of times you've been ghosted.
Yeah.
So as a widow,
Even
want
you
to go
ghost
into
people,
that.
don't you?
Oh,
because
yes,
I've ghosted
true.
people.
I have actually, because I'm like, oh no, I didn't think this will go anywhere. So I'm like, okay, and you're creating excuses. That's the thing about online. You don't have to meet them physically as such.
That's the good thing.
But it's also difficult. It makes things difficult because, I mean, otherwise you're like, if you're not doing it online, then where else? I can't go to the club. And I have my standards. I have what I want. I know what I want,
I have a list.
And it's like, can I really get these things? So maybe where else in the UK, in where? In the Western world, aside from online dating, where else?
Work.
And don't just say church. Trust me, I just
Work.
told you about church. Work. Work that even if you come and tell somebody, like, you just touch the person's arm, they could go report that, sexual harassment, So you want to be careful, just how, and then, because you work together, people are very careful. They don't want to come and talk to you for you to think you're harassing them. Maybe
I
not
remember.
sexually, but they're like, harassment. This person's coming to talk to me. You're harassing me. So yes, there's so many rules here that restricts you. And for us as widows, we can't hang around a lot where those younger people are hanging around and stuff. It's hard. So it's just a whole new world for us widows to date again.
It is to navigate and to actually find something good.
Let me give you a gist before we round this off.
Okay.
And I'll allow you to do your own talk too, quickly. So I met this guy, I just remembered now, in a friend's house over the holiday.
There you go. You
Christmas,
meet
whatever
people
holiday.
offline.
Well, yes, actually, I just remembered that. This is the one person, that I met, and he was like, oh, he likes me. And I was like, oh, really? He wasn't British English, He was
Polish? European.
Iranian, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I was fascinated with the fact that this is the person that became Christians because, you know how it is now,
In
being
Iran.
a Christian, so he had to leave the country because he's now a Christian and stuff.
He was formerly a Muslim.
From the story he shared with me and everything, I was like, oh, bless, and he was like, oh, can we meet, and he took my number, and then later I was like, can we meet and have coffee or something? And I was like, oh, okay.
It's
Let
always
me see
coffee. It
this,
starts with coffee.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can have tea with you because I'm a tea person. So I met up with this person, in a tea coffee shop, in a cafe, and then we were having drinks and anything. And next thing he goes, I like you. And then he goes, he can make me feel good, take away all the loneliness, stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I mean, like, you need someone to, you know how you scratch my back, I scratch your back. And I'm like, exactly what are you talking about, please? He was like, no, that you can't tell me that.
You don't
You're
have
not,
needs.
yes, you exactly, that you don't have needs and you don't feel like, that sexual, whatever. And I looked at him, I was like, I thought you were a Christian. He was like, oh, come on. Don't you know that? So if you're a Christian, can't you have? And I'm like, but you shouldn't. That's what the Bible says. It said, even the British people that are preaching to us anything, can't you see that they're having partners and don't you know that they're sleeping with each other? I said, okay. So because they're doing that, does that make it right? According to you? Because I know people who are not. So if you say you're seeing the people they're doing it, because they're doing it, is that what the Bible says? I mean, I'm not judging people. If you can do that, that's fine. But by mine, and he was actually trying to convince me. And I'm like, I don't get it.
So this man approached you not for dating.
So the thing is, exactly. So he wants us to have a date where we're sexually satisfying
Helping
each other. Exactly. And then what made it even worse was he was like he wouldn't want the people that introduced us to know. So I looked at him and I was like, okay.
He doesn't have any plans for your life, for your
you're
future.
actually looking for someone that's going to be warming your bed. And that's the thing that happens with a lot of widows, and it doesn't matter what part of the country. No. People think that, okay, because you're a widow, you deserve less. Like, I mean, your bed needs to be warmed,
That's
your
the most we owe you.
Sexually, you need have needs and need to be sexually, satisfied. And yes, so you must be available because you do not have any choice again. And I'm like, what?
To be fair, I can't remember anyone. No, not on dating. Like I've met someone that is saying, I want to help you. Scratch that itch. No. But it happened to me in Nigeria. My neighbor.
Why do they do that? So
I don't know.
Because I'm a widow, does that make me a soft target? Does
Obviously.
that mean that?
You're too vulnerable.
Exactly. So as in, I do not deserve another chance at having a real thing. And you've got to be just, or I have got to be just a bed warmer to you or for you.
Which brings me to a point, which is that even for our friends and our family that encourage us to date, they would encourage you to lower your standards.
In dating.
Like you can't meet, like they will tell you you're older, you can't meet someone with this set number of criteria that this person needs to satisfy. You can't meet that person. You can't find all of those qualities in one man. So you need to adjust. You need to twitch your whatever it is, your expectations. Because if you're approaching with all of that, you're not going to get someone. So even people that encourage you, they tell you, don't be too hard, don't be too expectant, but be thankful when anyone, including even a married man, looks at you and say hello.
Oh, you had that experience though.
I did.
Of a married man.
A married man.
All in the name of dating.
Yeah.
Kept lying for.
No, he lied, but at the very beginning he was omitting. You know when you omit to tell the truth?
Is that not lying?
But something in my mind was like, this was saying, you've not really directly reminded, as in I couldn't remember when we had the last conversation whether he told me he was married. So I got on asking him specifically, are you married? And I said, well, we are no longer married. We are separate. No, he said it. He presented as if they are divorced. So it was when he went home during the Christmas. We don't even, as in he's in a different town.
Left UK.
He left where he was, the town where he was, and he went to his family, and that was when he became incommunicado. And then there's a way people
Still
are
in the
offline.
UK here.
Yeah, radio silence. You just know that something is off. They're either trying to keep the other person from finding out, or they're trying to keep that side of their lives from getting to your knowledge, or trying to keep you from I don't know how to explain it, but so I got that feeling that this man was hiding something. And so when he got back to his town, he was saying he wanted to come back to Pool to see me. I was like, I don't think so. I have something tells me that you're really married. You're just omitting to tell me exactly. He said, well, we don't stay together anymore. We've not had sex. I said, that's not the same thing, no. You've not had sex does not mean you're not married. There are people that they don't sleep with their wives anymore. They are still married. So, and it was like, well, when he rectifies the situation, he'll get back to me. I'm like, well, that
And
is,
you'll be there waiting for him.
who is waiting? Does he do? Am I waiting for anybody? So we get that as well, because, and then sometimes when you share these things with people, people are like, why, how dare you even have high expectations? If a married man talks to you, yeah, say hello and play the game. So those are the things we deal with, because you've had something good, like you shared. You've had something good when you were married to your husband. So you do not expect less than that. A man that cherishes
Thank you very
a man
much.
that loves you and, expects love from you, and you're also giving that love. And he's worthy of that love because he has proven himself. And then what you're getting is just what?
And you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. You've gone ahead already, so you know what it is. You know the type of thing that you should have had. So the fact is, pick the good from what you've had before
and build on that.
Do you get? And then look at it. Okay, what else can I use to adjust to this and get what you want? Look, do not lower your standard. Well, I'm definitely not lowering my standard. That's just the truth, because I don't understand why people think that they have to run your life for you. And they sell this BS to a lot of widows. And because we feel that we're vulnerable, we fall for them. Look, if you want to date at the right time, when you are ready, I think it's okay to do it.
But
Only
please,
if you want it.
yeah.
And do it the right way.
And please have your list. Have your expectations.
Seriously, do not lower your standard. Do not lower your standard. You should do better than what you've had before. You should. I'm looking forward to that. And it's not just by me. I mean, I pray about everything I want. So I'm reading this book by Viola Davis, the actress. Nollywood actress, yeah, and that's the book Finding Me. And she was talking about how a friend of hers told her that, Viola, why don't you have a partner or have a boyfriend? Why are you not dating? And she was like, she doesn't think she has, someone, she's good enough. And she was like, have you even told God? Do you know what you want? Do you know what you want? She was like, yes, she does. She said, you do. When you get home tonight, go and kneel down before you sleep. Kneel down and pray about those things. Tell God exactly what you want, how you want it. Describe it, because that's what God wants. When you're done describing it, give it to him, okay? And let go. That's what you should be doing, okay, every night. Just tell God this is exactly what you want. And Viola said she went home. She told God, I want a man. She said, I want someone who's been married before, has children, because I don't want to be pressured about having children. I want someone who's like country kind of person, homey. I want someone who has is it like a military guy? Well, she had her standard, what exactly she wanted. It wasn't as if she was asking for too much, but this was the kind of person.
She drew a picture for God.
Yeah, that she wanted. And she said she got that person.
Just look at
it didn't drop like that. And she said she wanted someone who loved God, who wanted God. And when this person came, one of the first things this person told her was, her husband now, of 20-something years, was like, join me, let's go to church. And she was like, ooh, this sounds like, this is the person I wanted. And truly everything she wanted, because the guy was a grandfather already before he came to her, but a young guy. And the guy knew what he wanted. When I say young, I mean so this is, I'm not trying to say use Viola's standard or anything, but I'm just trying to say that, look, we as widows, we need to have a standard as well. Absolutely. We need to have, it's okay to want something, to pray about what you want, and to desire for something better. Do not settle for less.
Absolutely.
That should be my last words, I think.
You should not settle for less. You should,
on this episode.
Yeah. You should not settle for less. Everything you've said, I agree with you. I have nothing more to add.
All right. Thanks for staying with us. Okay. You can drop your comments as well. Okay. I would like to know what your opinion is about this, or share your experience with us as well. I am Affi.
And I am Funmi. Bye.